My name is Anamari Fanthorpe, and I'm going to be your host today on Digital Boost, where we learn it so we can do it and boost it. Now, we're talking into the topic of e-invoicing today, and we've got all the experts here. Let's just say we've got a full house. So we've got MBIE here and their e-invoicing team. We've got MYOB, we've got Xero, and I know a lot of you folks use these accounting platforms in order to sort out your accounting, get paid, streamline your processes, pay your employees, get your taxes done. I mean, we use it for so many things, and e-invoicing is going to be really valuable to you and your small business so that you can get paid faster and be able to see in real time what's happening with your money. So we're going to kick right into this event. Now, just know if you're joining us here on Zoom, you can use the chat feature to communicate with us here. And if you're with us on social media, because I know a lot of you folks join us on those platforms on Tuesdays, I'll be opening up the chats shortly, and you can drop any of the questions that you have for these experts into the comment section or chat section, and I'll pull them through so you can get your questions answered. Now, I think that's about it from me. I might let you kick off, Lisa. So you're going to kick off and talk about e-invoicing in general, and then we're going to get into the platforms here. So feel free to introduce yourselves when you go. I just thought, it's enough waffling on from me and let you guys get into it.
Good morning and welcome. So my name is Lisa Ringliff. I represent MBIE, and it's great to see so many of you here today looking to learn about what e-invoicing is. So we'll jump straight in. I'm going to bring up a video to share with you to kick things off. Right, let's jump straight in.
If you're in business today, you'll want to know about e-invoicing.
Did that pause for anybody else? Yeah. Okay.
Is that not working? Right,
it's a classic Zoom move, Lisa. We'll just give it a moment to load and then, give it another crack.
Okay. Could someone give me a thumbs up when I play this time? And hopefully that's kicking off. Sure. Okay, let's try that again.
If you're in business today, you'll want to know about e-invoicing. It's a digital offering that brings a smart approach to invoicing so manual handling can become a thing of the past. Let's set a few things straight. E-invoicing means no paper, no PDFs, no scanning, and no email. It's an exchange of invoice information directly between suppliers and buyers' financial systems, even if these systems are different. It improves accuracy and security, reduces processing time, and speeds up payments. Great news for cash flow. To get started, talk to your accounting or financial software provider about their plans to provide e-invoicing enabled services. Find out more at einvoicing.govt.nz. E-invoicing.
Right, so as you can see, e-invoices go straight from one accounting system straight directly into the other system via the secure e-invoicing network. So that means when you're sending an e-invoice, you're not having to post it, you're not having to email it, it reaches your buyer straight in their accounting system straight away. And on the other side, when you're receiving an e-invoice, that e-invoice appears directly in your accounting system, in your Xero and your MYOB account. So that means you're not having to manually receive the invoice, whether that's email, whether that's a posted invoice in an envelope, and enter those details yourself into your accounting system. So it's quite a lot of effort saved. Let's quickly talk about what e-invoicing isn't, because there's a lot of misconceptions here. So e-invoicing is not the same as emailing a PDF. It doesn't change anything around your approval or your payment processes. All it does is get that invoice directly into your accounting system. And it's also not something that will change from one day to the next. E-invoicing will be a gradual change over time as more and more people get on board with e-invoicing, start sending e-invoices and enjoying the benefits. So look, you're a very busy small business owner. Why would you be interested in e-invoicing? So there are plenty of benefits for small business owners and larger companies alike, which is why MBIE and the government is promoting e-invoicing. In other words, there are some serious productivity savings of adopting e-invoicing. So first up, e-invoicing is direct and it's secure. When you send an e-invoice, it goes straight into your accounting system and your customer's accounting system. When you're sending the e-invoice, when you're receiving an e-invoice, it goes straight into your accounting system. So that means invoices aren't lost. They're not missed in a busy email inbox. They go straight into the accounting system. It's right there, ready to action, ready to pay. E-invoicing is secure and it minimizes invoice fraud risks, such as fake or intercepted invoices. The reduced administration. This is usually music to a small business owner's ears. So currently, when you receive an emailed PDF invoice, let's think about what you have to do. You need to jump into your email inbox. You might decide to file things away in a particular folder for invoicing or accounts day, or you might decide to deal with it on the spot. You need to open up that email. You need to double click the PDF to open it. You need to log into your accounting system. You're bringing everything over, you're manually copying and pasting all the important details. Who's the invoice from? What's it for? How much is it for? You're manually yourself mapping that over to the fields in your accounting system. And then you're repeating that 5, 10, maybe 20 times. So with e-invoicing, as you'll see in a minute, all of those invoice details appear straight in your accounting system. You're not having to put those in yourself. So you're saving time and it's meaning that it's accurate. The correct information is in the correct place in your accounting system. So you eliminate human error. You eliminate errors. That means fewer delays. You're not having to fix things either for invoices you're receiving or on the other side when you're sending invoices to your customers and perhaps they've entered incorrect details. So what this allows for is faster payment. You're not waiting for people to enter the invoice in their system. It's not sitting in a backlog in the email inbox somewhere. It's straight in their system. That means people can pay faster, and that has a flow-on effect with cash flow. In fact, research MB did into e-invoicing shows there can be productivity savings to the New Zealand economy to the tune of over $4 billion over a 10-year period if businesses adopted e-invoicing. Connect once, connect to all. So what does this mean? One of the really great things about e-invoicing is just how many people you can exchange e-invoices with. So you'll see in a minute, you can exchange e-invoices with any customer on Xero, any customer on MYOB Essentials or AccountRight. That's free of charge for all those small businesses using those products. And it's not just small businesses that can exchange e-invoices. A growing number of government organisations and large New Zealand businesses are also getting on board with e-invoicing. So it's a very simple single network that is very easy for people to access to send and receive e-invoices. And finally, financial visibility. So e-invoices are received in real time. You'll know exactly how much you owe. You're not having to go through that email inbox folder to figure out how much you owe at a particular time. Everything's in your accounting software, and that part of it is all up to date. So we'll jump into the demo section of the webinar, and you can hear and see what it looks like in Xero and MYOB directly.
Thanks, Lisa. So I'm Simon Foster. I'm the GM of e-invoicing for Xero, and very happy to be here today to do a demo. And I'm going to hand across to Harry so he can introduce himself as well.
Thanks very much, Simon. So hello, I'm Harry, the product manager in MYOB, overseeing the e-invoicing work. And today we'll do a little bit of a demo between how e-invoicing works between the two systems.
Thanks, Harry. Now, this is a pre-recording. We haven't wished to offend the demo gods to make sure everything's working. You'll see Harry and I do it. I have a feeling we introduce ourselves again. But But anyway, let's go ahead and press play. And you're not going to hear sound for the first few seconds because there isn't any. And it begins with one of our colleagues who'll do the intros.
Hi everyone, I'm Fiona, and today we're going to show you a quick demo of how e-invoices are exchanged between Xero and MYOB via the PEPAL e-invoicing network. To help me today, I'm joined by Harry D'Souza, who is an Associate Product Manager at MYOB, and Simon Foster, who is Xero's General Manager of e-invoicing. In order to use e-invoicing in Xero or MYOB, businesses need to register their business using their respective software. By registering, you are essentially telling the PEPAL network where you'd like your incoming e-invoices delivered. Simon, would you mind please sharing your screen and walking us through how Xero customers register to receive e-invoices in Xero?
Thanks, Fiona. Now, before you start, head to your organisation settings and make sure you have it populated with your NZBN and your legal trading name as it appears on the NZBN register. Let's do that now. I'm going to go up to the top here. We're going to go to settings, go to organisation details. You'll see we have Lucky Designs here. There's the NZBN. I'm going to put that in, and that's it. We need to make sure those two match. Once that's done, head to the business menu and click Bills to Pay. We're now going to click the burger menu and then set up the invoicing. Xero has pulled through the NZBN from the organisation settings we reviewed a few seconds ago. Remember, your NZBN acts as your unique identifier, kind of like your phone number. Now click Search for Business Information. You'll be presented with your business details. Check everything is accurate and then click Verify These are my business details. You'll now be asked to provide the details of a business representative. This person will just need to act as a point of contact on the PEPAL network. It's not shared with the network itself. It's only available to Xero. Once you're happy with that, you'll need to agree the terms and conditions and then click Complete Registration. We'll go put that in there. And that's it. You're all done. Now you can see that Lucky Designs is registered on the PEPAL network, and you can see there the NZBN that has been used. Now I'll hand over to Harry, who will walk through the registration process within MYOB. Harry.
Cheers, Simon. The registration process for MYOB customers is just as simple. As soon as you log into MYOB, you will land into your dashboard. From here, you can go to your sales settings on the upper right corner of the screen, and then go all to the very end to e-invoicing. In this tab in here, you will be able to read more about the benefits of using e-invoicing and read a few other supporting materials and even a video that will tell you more about it. And then once you're ready to get started, just click on the Get Started button, and then you will be taken to this screen where we basically ask for your business name the same way that it appears on the NZBN register, your NZBN, and then your postal and address details. Once you are ready, just fill up this information in here and click on Register for e-invoicing, and then you will be taken back to your MYOB dashboard with a success message that says that you are ready to go. In MYOB, registering for e-invoicing allows you to both send and receive all in one journey. So that means that once you are signed up, you're ready to go.
Great. Thank you both very much for that. It looks very easy indeed. We all know that the beauty of e-invoicing is that it's interoperable, meaning as long as your customer or supplier is registered and using PEPAL approved software, you can exchange e-invoices. Next up, we're going to show you just how easy this is. Simon is going to send an e-invoice from Xero to Harry, who is using MYOB.
Firstly, I need to enter Harry as a new customer contact. Harry's company is going to be the Ministry of MYOB Invoicing, and obviously the contact person is going to be Harry D'Souza. As I mentioned before, your NZBN acts as your unique identifier. So I'm going to head to the bottom of that page, and you see at the bottom, we have a space for NZBN, and Harry's NZBN is already in there. There it is. Let's close that. Now I'm going to create a new e-invoice. So the first thing we're going to do, hit to New, Sales Invoice. And you see it's already populated in Harry's details. This is actually our classic invoicing page. We also have something called new invoicing. In order to send an e-invoice, you do need to use that new invoicing page. So you can just swap between it at the bottom here. And here we have the details of new invoicing. So the first thing I'm going to do is come to the bottom and click this toggle so that I say it as send it as an e-invoice. You'll then note a slight change just here in the screen. These are special formatting that allows us to add some extra details, like, for example, a purchase order number. So we'll do PO colon, and sometimes large businesses or government require you to add extra details that you might not use when you're sending to other small businesses. And this is how you do it here. So we've got a PO number. I'll put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, 5, 6, 7, X. Otherwise, this is exactly the same as you would send an invoice normally. In this case, I'm going to send some 99 red balloons to Harry at $1.50 each. And that's all I need to do. If I'd wanted to attach some files, I can attach files down here, say exactly as you would do when sending an invoice over email. And I'll hit approve and send. If I want some payment details of bank account, we've got a little bit of detail there on there. Agree again, hit send. It's now verifying all the information on the e-invoice, and off it goes. What I'll now be able to do is just go to the bottom of the page here and see when it's been sent. And so what you can see, that's been sent as an e-invoice. We've got the NZBN, got a little bit of information on the payment details, and the fact it's gone today, the 12th of December. I'm now going to hand across to Harry to show how my e-invoice is received inside MYOB. Harry.
Thanks, Simon. In MYOB, we use the in tray to handle documents. And this is also where the e-invoices will appear once you receive them. So that means that Simon's e-invoice should be waiting for us in there. And here it is, invoice number 24. From here, after previewing the information that is contained in this invoice, I can either choose the reject e-invoice option in case there is something incorrect with it, maybe the number of items, the value, or something like that, or I can go ahead and turn it into a bill, meaning that I accept this e-invoice as correct. Both of these options will create responses that the sender will be able to see in their account, so they know about the workflow of the management of this e-invoice, and I am able to go either way from there. For the sake of this example, what I'm doing in here is that I am accepting this e-invoice and turning it into a bill in my account. And what you can see is that the screen in here is unchanged from current MYOB behavior. We pre-fill as much information as we can based on the e-invoice that is coming through, but you would still have to add just a few other pieces of information before being able to actually go ahead and save and respond. Clicking on this button means that you want to turn that e-invoice into a bill, so it'll disappear from your in tray and will become an actual bill for you to pay. It's important to note that Simon will also be notified that you have accepted that e-invoice. I'm going to go full circle and show you how you can send an e-invoice from MYOB. And pretty much the same way as in Xero, here in MYOB, you have to have a contact card for the customer with the NZBN information in it. So if I go to my contact screen, I should be able to see the Xero e-invoicing customer card in here with the NZBN pre-populated. And this Xero e-invoicing contact card is the one we will be using to send an e-invoice to Simon for the 99 red balloons. Then go to sales and then create invoice so that I can e-invoice Simon for the same 99 red balloons. So by picking the Xero e-invoicing contact card in here and then shifting to the service and items view, I should be able to put here the red balloons, choose an account, and then the 99 units at $1, just because my balloons are slightly cheaper. And then pretty much the same way as in Xero, I should be able to put a PO number in case I need one. Even select some notes in there. And in regular old invoicing, you would come to the save button in here and then create a PDF that you would then provide to your customer. But with e-invoicing, you can now use the send e-invoice button that as soon as you click on it, you should see this pop-up in here appear, where you can review information about your e-invoice, even select a template if you have one, and attach any supporting documents for that e-invoice.
Once you are happy with the information that you see here, you can click on the Send e-invoice button, and then MYOB is going to create that e-invoice and send it to the network so that it can be delivered to your customer. As soon as that happens, you should see a success message here up the top. And then if you go back to that e-invoice you just sent, you can scroll all the way down to the activity history, where you can see a few different steps about the workflow for that e-invoice. And right now it's showing as sent. So now it's back to Simon so that we can see how that e-invoice appears in Xero.
All incoming e-invoices appear as draft bills in Xero. So I'm going to head across to Bills to Pay to look for Harry's e-invoice. Go in here. And we're interested in the drafts. And you can see there we are, reference 002. And here are the 99 red balloons. And that's all come through with all of the details there. Tells us it's been received on e-invoicing, and you can see we've got the PDF attachment there as well. I've already set up this contact with our supplier code to automatically code it. If I want to use that, I can just click inside and you'll see it says cost of goods sold. All I need to do now is either approve it, or I can save it if someone else is the approver. It's that easy.
And there we are. E-invoicing is really that easy. And as you can see, it can really save you serious time entering bills if more of your suppliers started sending them. Special thanks to Harry and Simon for demonstrating both Xero and MYOB experiences today. You can find out more information on how e-invoicing works on Xero Central, which is Xero's support database, or on MYOB's Help Centre. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, everyone.
Kia ora. Oh, that was great, guys. I love it. It takes a lot for big organizations to all come together and produce content. And I just thought that was pretty seamless, really. So really great job on that. Couple of questions that have come through already. Are you ready to kick into those, or?
Absolutely. And we should have tried to wear the same shirts that we wore in the video, for continuity.
Oh, yes. Okay, now I'm just going back up. So we got a question from Rob. How does it work when we use another inventory system that then pushes invoice data through to Xero via an API? Anyone want to take that? Well, you've got to take it, don't you, Simon? Yeah.
I'm sure Harry would love to answer it for a different product. So if you are using those invoices to send and your inventory program is copying them into Xero, you can then use Xero to send that invoice, or it might be the inventory program also is connected to the PayPal network and they're able to send it themselves. And you can be registered for sending with multiple places, but you can only receive them to one place. So if you're talking about receiving those bills, which is what we call received invoices in Xero, then you're only going to be able to receive them into Xero. It may be that your inventory package is capable of pulling them out by API. And we do have a number of add-ons which are doing exactly that. They're either pulling it out of our API. As I say, from a sending perspective, you can also do that.
We did have a bit of extra information down the chat a little bit, so I apologize. I'm trying to read the chat and listen to you, and so I'll give you that extra info. It says inventory invoices via external inventory system, but other invoices entered directly into Xero. So I don't know if that changes your answers at all, but yeah.
Okay, it sounds like that's receiving invoices, so bills inbound or accounts payable, use the accounting term. So those can only go into one place, so they can come into Xero. The inventory system may be able to pull that data out using our API. But if you're receiving them directly in, then we'd suggest you continue to work for the moment on a PDF on your workflow, or you can start looking at new workflows around the API and talk to the inventory company, see what they can let you know about how they're planning on working. You can also reach out to our customer support team on central.xero.com, and they'll be able to help you out with some advice on how to address those types of issues.
Perfect. A question here from Ruth, and just let us know if you need any follow-up details there, Rob. We'll be happy to go back in. Just wondering how approvals are treated if the person who procures a service is not the one who pays the invoice. I work in marketing, and my previous corporate days, we would print invoice, sign it, and pass it to the accounts. I've not used either software or setting my business at the moment, so trying to work these things out. Great question. Thanks, Ruth. I don't know if anyone wants to.
Well, I think I actually demoed that in the video.
Oh, okay.
So you notice there were two buttons at the bottom of Xero. You could either approve it if you have that permission, or there was a save button and it goes to a separate approver. So you can set up an approvals workflow inside Xero. Mm-hmm. And I'll hand across Harry to explain how MYOB handles that scenario.
I would say that it is very similar, even for this specific behavior, but for the one that you addressed earlier, Simon, because the majority of these things are sort of addressed from the network perspective, more so than the products themselves that connect to it, such as Xero and MYOB. So it's all very, very similar, and not a lot of difference there.
Yeah, I'll just emphasize as well. So with e-invoicing, when you receive an e-invoice, what that does is it gets it into your system. What you do with it from there is exactly the same as you'd treat a emailed PDF invoice, for example. That's all business processes. It's entirely up to you. E-invoicing just makes sure it gets in your system without that manual admin to plug it in.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Question here from Kathy. I have 100 plus repeating invoices. What is the best, quickest way to update my contacts and repeating invoices to implement e-invoicing? So you both might want to have a crack at that.
Yeah, that sounds like Xero terminology. I'm not sure if it's called the same thing in MYOB or not, but so at this point in time, we don't support e-invoices and repeating invoices, so you can't automate them. But the challenge you've just described is something we've been thinking a lot about. How do you deal with, okay, I have to get the information about my customer, NZBN, which you may not be storing today. I have to then enable it, and I've got potentially hundreds of them. So one of the things that we're working on is the ability for your customer to elect how they want to receive the e-invoice. So they obviously will know their own NZBN, and if they're registered, and they can provide that information on the Xero online invoice, and be able to say, I want this as an e-invoice, and I want all future ones to be an e-invoice. So you'll actually be able to see this working because we are in the process of enabling our own subscription invoices. So for those of you who are Xero customers, you might know that our least automated part of our system is the invoices we actually send to yourselves as subscribers, which is a little frustrating for all of us. And we'll very shortly be releasing a beta where you'll be able to automate those, and it will work in the same way. You'll log in, view that invoice, be able to say, I want this as an e-invoice, and select that yourself.
Fantastic. Now, did you want to touch on that at all, Harry?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And for the beginning of Simon's answer, I just wanted to echo his words. It's basically the exact same within MYOB. Not only do we not offer the repeating invoices now for e-invoicing, we are also thinking very hard about how is it that we can lower this barrier of entry for people that deal with many different trading partners. So there are a few different ways in which you can sort of massage the data that you currently have to start entering those NZBNs into your contact cards. But from that point onwards, then it's more about each specific business deciding on how they expect their trading partners to be receiving those invoices and bills, if it's either still in old invoicing mode or if they're ready to jump into e-invoicing.
Fantastic. A couple more questions here. Is there an option to link MYOB to Dynamics CRM for accounts receivable?
That is a very interesting question that I was actually trying to look up the answer in the meantime in here. Based on my current knowledge about the specific part of Dynamics CRM, I don't think there is a direct connector between these two things. But even before we go to that point, it would be really interesting to reflect on the point that Simon made about the network's ability to only receive the e-invoices into one specific place. So if you're talking about the accounts receivable, it could be the case that by receiving the information in there, you would have to use our API to then fetch that information and bring it into MYOB so it becomes an actual bill. So that's probably the core of the question. My initial answer is that there isn't an off-the-shelf solution for that just yet, but I'm happy to look into it.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, from Sue, is batch invoicing possible? At the moment, I have an Excel template that can be uploaded to the accounting system. So just need to change invoice amount each month and upload. So this is kind of along that repeat, isn't it? A little bit, but yeah. Sue, let us know if the answers that we got before, which was you, and as if hopefully I understood as well, is that there are things that you guys are still working on, and these are situations that you understand a lot of businesses need assistance with, and you also need it yourselves, and those are in the works to be released once they've been developed.
Yeah, what I might add, one of the things to mention about e-invoicing is, as we're changing to a fully digital process, if you think about how email began, where it was just a message between two people, and now it's on our phones, it has calendar, you can send videos, you can do all these other things. Social media is sort of an extension of email. We're at the beginning of the digitization process of invoices and purchase orders and all the stuff that goes with business trade. And so a lot of processes, as I guess our first question about approvals, are still thinking about it like a piece of paper. And sometimes it's literally a piece of paper. The paper comes in, you put it, you sign that I've approved it, you hand it to someone else who then enters it into a system. In many cases, the digital processes around PDFs are the same. And as the technology keeps expanding, we'll find other ways to work. And the example we've both just given about giving the power to the customer to decide how they want it is not something we've ever really been able to do before. And so a lot of this stuff is still new, and we're really happy to get feedback and figure it out. And also the fact that you have Harry and I both here presenting, the idea of sending between accounting systems and us being able to work together to make that happen is also pretty new. And so, yeah, that's right. It's similar to repeating invoices. You can upload via Excel today into Xero. I'm pretty sure you can do it to MYOB as well. But how it actually works to send that as an e-invoice, well, we love to work together and figure that out and see how we can make everybody more efficient, which is what this is about. It's making about life easier for small businesses.
And maybe some of it is about having a chat with the customer support teams of the various platforms, and really individualizing and personalizing that experience for you. So your situation might be slightly different from somebody else's, and there might be a solution to what you're doing that will help you to streamline a little bit of that process in the meantime. And I know that both teams have great resources on their platforms and also have an amazing support system for small businesses. So I would encourage you to reach out to them and, give them your hard questions and see if they can find a solution for you that's going to make your life a little bit easier. Now that is kind of the last question there. Harry, there's been an email dropped in there for you to have a chat with that person.
Thank you. I replied to them individually. We'll be happy to look for more information and then be in touch. Thank you.
I might even, that just came to us. That's okay. All right. Well, I think that's kind of, hold on. We're on the Q&A. How do I update all my customers' NZBN number easily into Xero? Slightly different question, but we'll do you want to field that now or what do you think, Simon?
So I believe you can download contacts.
You need that for e-invoicing, don't you? You need
so you do need the NZBN. As I mentioned earlier, we're trying to take that load off you and put it onto the customer so they get to choose whether they want to receive it as an email, PDF, or an e-invoice, and they can enter their details in at that point. But there is a way, I believe, you can download the contacts as a CSV file. You can edit it in Excel and then re-upload it. And if we get details, I'll see if I can get one of our CX people to follow up with the Xero Central page that describes that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you want to just direct message Simon, that would be the best. So if you don't know how to do that, just go into the chat and then click on that down arrow, and you'll be able to type in Simon's name there, and you could send him through your email, and that will go directly to him. Okay. Now, we want to finish up here. Lisa's got a few more slides for us to have a look at. Feel free to keep using the chat. Look, we've got quite a bit of time, so no rush. And I'm going to check out the chats across the social media platforms.
Right. So just to wrap up, let's cover a few more important things you need to know about e-invoicing. So as you've seen, when you are sending e-invoices, you're not sending to an email address, you're sending to a customer's New Zealand business number or NZBN. So as you picked up, you need a way to find out what that NZBN is and store it in your accounting software. So there's a couple of different ways to do that. The first and easiest we recommend is to jump onto the NZBN website, nzbn.gov.nz, and you can do a search of the NZBN register. Just pop in the company name and it will give you the matches. Of course, you can also ask your customer what their NZBN number is. Yes, sole traders can obtain a New Zealand business number. It's free and it's easy. So this is not just something for registered companies. If you do have a large volume of customers, there's also an option to email this email address on the screen and request the NZBN team free data match service. So in other words, you supply a list of your customers and they will supply back a match of their NZBN numbers. E-invoicing is growing, and that's true in New Zealand, it's true in Australia, it's true across Asia, Europe, and globally. So like Simon's analogy earlier about the email revolution and the growth of that network, it's something that took place over time. It wasn't from one day to another, the entire globe is emailing each other. It's something that builds up to become a norm over time. As we stand at the moment, there are 7,500 registered businesses in New Zealand on the PEPOL e-invoicing network. That means 7,500 businesses can receive an e-invoice that you send them. We have a number of influential large businesses across New Zealand committed to e-invoicing. A number of these are sending and receiving e-invoices as we speak, with many more coming, getting themselves organised to start sending and receiving e-invoices this year. So one notable example is Bunnings, sending quite a large volume of e-invoices in Australia to SMEs in particular. I believe it's around 20,000 a month at the moment, and they are looking to do the same to New Zealand small businesses around mid-year. So that's something to look forward to if you are receiving invoices from Bunnings with a trade account at the moment. E-invoicing is also the preferred way for many government organisations to get paid, and it's something that will be an increasing focus and priority for government agencies to receive invoices in that way. So if you are trading with government, that's definitely something to get across. And of course, let's not forget that all SMEs in New Zealand using MYOB, Essentials, Account Right and Xero can send and receive e-invoices free of charge right now, today. So that's quite a large network of other small businesses across the country that are capable of sending and receiving e-invoices. They might not have registered on the network just yet, but it might be a very simple phone call or email, and it's very easy for them to do so. So once you've registered for e-invoicing, let people know. Let your suppliers know you'd actually really like to receive their bills as an e-invoice. Let your customers know that you're able to send them an e-invoice as their bill. So obviously communication with your trading partners, pick up the phone, but also there's things you can do like download the snazzy badge from our website, letting people know that you are e-invoicing capable, that you can attach, for example, to your email signature to get the word out there. So look, you've seen how easy it is, how simple it is on both Xero, on MYOB to register for e-invoicing and to get started. So really just encourage you to take a few minutes after the webinar today to go through, if you haven't done that already, and get set up for e-invoicing, because the sooner you start doing it, the sooner you'll get those benefits. And back to you, Anamari.
Yep, all good. I'm trying to type and do things. I'll just answer the question live. So there was a question about what is it PEPOL, or how did you pronounce it?
PEPOL. So PEPOL is the e-invoicing, global secure e-invoicing standard that New Zealand has chosen for e-invoicing. We've branded it just as e-invoicing rather than PEPOL, but it's a highly interoperable, global, secure e-invoicing network that takes care of the bit in the middle between the sending and receiving.
Okay, perfect. All right. And it looks like we're pretty good. We've got all questions answered, all questions from socials answered. And we're in a good spot. So are there any things that anybody wants to say to wrap us up today? And sure, account client, where can I register for? Oh, okay. I'm just going to respond to CK there. If you missed, and to everybody, if you missed any parts of this session today, you will be receiving it in a thank you for attending email if you registered through Digital Boost. If you're not registered through Digital Boost and you're watching on social media, as soon as everything is concluded, that whole video will be available to you there. It's got all the links to folks if you need to get a hold of them. And I would encourage you, if you're looking for more resources from either about e-invoicing, MYOB, Xero, come on to Digital Boost platform. We've got a bunch of resources from these teams that we've compiled. So there's lots of things on the platform if you need help with your accounting and various different topics. So it doesn't have to just be about e-invoicing. So yeah, if you missed the part in the beginning, CK, I would just suggest just rewatching that first couple of minutes of the session, and they'll walk you through how to do that. All right. Anybody want to conclude or say anything? I want to say thank you, because this is a massive undertaking. What did it take us, like 5 months or something to put this together? Like, it was a big deal. Yeah. So thanks, guys. Thanks to all the teams. I'll let you guys say your finishing remarks, and we'll close it up for the day. Why don't you go ahead? Yeah, Simon.
I was going to say, just thank you, everyone. Please get in and give it a try. You don't often get to see us together with MYOB. We're very happy to be here and be promoting e-invoicing together. And I'll give Harry the last word.
Thanks very much, Simon. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming here today, and thanks also to everyone that helped organize this. It's been a long time coming, and it's been amazing to work with Xero and with the other people that are related to the PEPAL network, trying to get this in front of the business owners and working towards making this process that is so important all that much better. So we would love to see you try out e-invoicing and help move the network further. So thanks very much.
Thanks for taking time out of your very busy days. It is just a couple of minutes to do that registration process. So look, guys, today's the day.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, thanks everyone from all the teams, and some great comments there. It's just thanks heaps everyone, especially seeing competing products working well together. And I think that that's, just a joy, is to say, hey, look, we're trying to do things for SMEs. It's not about, either organization. It's all about you. So that's what you see from these guys, and that's why they're so wonderful. So thanks so much for all your time, everyone that was involved, and we'll catch you on Thursday for the workshop. Well, I've still got you. We're going to be diving into LinkedIn and all of that kind of jazz. So come to the workshop. We'll optimize your profile and get you all set up. So thanks everyone. Have a great day. Ka kite.